Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Last episode, after I got the power steering pump working, it started to spasm the steering wheel left and right. Not sure why that happened, but I suppose it's good it did, because it exposed a scary weakness. As a result, the steering column end popped out of the knuckle that connects it to the rack. You can see the knuckle here. While this end has a pin that inserts to keep it firm, the side connecting to the column is just a slip-in with a couple of Allen head screws to try and hold it in. Obviously, that's not going to do the job. So what I'm going to do is take the column off and take it to my engineer to ask him what's the best approach from here. I'm going to suggest if I can find someone to put a big pin into it, similar to what the other end of the knuckle has. This way it should hold it in place, as long as the pin is strong and won't snap. If my engineer doesn't rate that idea, then I'll take it all out and fit the stock steering box and idler arm back in. Power steering and rack and pinion steering would have been unreal, but if it's not safe, then it's not something I want any part of. Alright, let's get this column off. Alright. If it's going to focus or not. Doesn't want to focus. So that, I would like to drill, or get someone to drill a hole through, and then so a screw can go into it. Maybe even two in that knuckle if there's room, but at least one, thick one. So hopefully that's going to be stable. I'm going to talk to my engineer about it when I take it there and suggest that to him, see what he says. My engineer is also going to be my tuner, so I'm going to bring him my ECU so he can hopefully download a bass map onto it. So then I can come back here, plug it in, and I'll have a bass map so I can actually get this thing started. So let's go look at the ECU now quickly and have a chat about that. This is the ECU I'm running with. It's a Link Monsoon G4X. So as far as I believe on the scale, it's like the Atom is the starting spot, then the Monsoon is the next up, and after the Monsoon, there you go, after the Monsoon, I can't remember all the names, they all sound like fucking storms and lightning and thunder and fucking, I don't know, shit like that. But this one should do the trick, hoping. I probably could have gone with the Atom. Like, it's a naturally aspirated car, doesn't need too much going for it. At the moment the car's obviously stock. This also came with that purple bracket to mount this. It came with a plug as well, but I sent that off to get that attached to the ECU. Sorry, sent that off to the electrician to get attached to the engine loom. So yeah, it's there, it's in the car. It'll plug straight into this. I've got the mount mounted, so that'll plug in there. The reason I got it was because I've obviously got the stock ECU, but I did want to go bigger cams. It's obviously got a different exhaust to what it would have stock. It's also got, once I put the bigger cams, I also wanted to go in individual throttle bodies. So with all those changes, I just thought, fuck it, just get an ECU. I'm sure they can tune a little bit more power out of it. Probably not heaps, but if I got cams and if I got cams and individual throttle bodies, might get a little bit more. Better to have a custom tune with those than just bolt them on and hope for the best with the stock ECU. Also, it gives me the flexibility to run E85 if I want, which again, I don't know if I'm going to bother, but my fuel system is rated for it too. So, you know, if I want a bit more extra power to see what it can do, why not? You know, one day down the track, I'd love to put a 2.2 litre bottom end onto it, see what that does, and even a VE head. But that's way down the track, so who fucking knows? But that'll be a cool little NA project. But anyway, this will do. And now what I want to do is take it down to my tuner to get him to upload a bass map on there. And so then hopefully I can start it. So yeah, that's the ECU. Hey Bruce. It's time for me now to fit the left rear flare. I did the right one and the front, and the footage was really bad because my camera was fucking up at the time. So hopefully this will give you a better indication of how I did it with decent footage, although it's getting a bit dark. Anyway, let's get into it. Pretty much freeballed the drilling. Just put the flare on, marked it up with a spray can. Obviously a little pen would be better, like a Sharpie or a marker or something. Drill it out and then put in the rib nuts, just like this. So I think this is the same thing that happened on the last side. That one worked, that one worked. This one, that's pretty close, and that one is not that far off. I don't know if you can see. I don't know if you can see in there, but it's pretty close. But obviously being fiberglass, I'll just drill that one out a bit. This one maybe a little bit more, just to make a bit of room, and then it should be pretty sweet. Before I do any drilling though, I'll cut out the rubber like I did the last one. Just that rubber lining there, which helps it fit quite nicely. Because you'll be surprised when you put that there, they might actually fit pretty well. So, or better than they were before. So let's see how we go with that. This one fits way better than the one on the other side, so I don't even need to put a little nut on either side like I did, but I will just to make it even and matched. But that's all cut and sorted. When I put those other little nuts down there, I will obviously have to then do the same thing, but yeah, we've got that ready. So let's work on these little holes down here. 2 more and then should be ready to spray it. Okay, beautiful. So here we have it. Let me try that again. So here we have it. You can see along the edges. Sorry about the shadow. It's fucking late at night here. Okay man, so basically all it needs now is a coat of paint. So basically I went on and off, fitting that. It takes a lot of like fucking around back and forth for each of the holes, especially those bottom ones, and then trimming the the gaps out of the rubber so it doesn't get in the way of the screws. But once you do it, it shouldn't take too long. That was about an hour, so just keep back and forth, drilling out the holes. Give it some paint, and then refit it, and then it should be done. When I'm putting these on, I always try and make sure that as I'm fitting it, I'm picking an order of how I'm screwing everything in, and then I reverse it when I'm taking it off, so that way it always fits pretty easily. As you can see, that's gone in relatively well so far, and we'll just finish the rest, but I've done it for the other three. There's only the front left passenger one to do, and they all seem to work. Like that system seems to work pretty well, so keep sticking with it until something doesn't work. And then you don't need to go over tight with the nuts or the bolts. Just make sure they're in nicely, holding it together well. And that's all it really needs. You don't want the bolts to look like hanging out like this one, but the rest are all pretty much in. So just tighten this up a bit more. Oh, fucking yeah. It's very hard to get a good angle here because, as you can see, I've got a small amount of room, but it's in. This one, I think I fucked the rib nut in it. It was fine, then I tried to tighten it a bit more, but last time when I was test fitting it, a few times I tightened it and it went in nicely, so I've obviously just must have rushed that. Fucked it somehow, so anyway, but there you go. That's done. So the only one I've got left now is the passenger front. And when I finally get around to putting on those fenders, I'll cover it then. So I guess we're at a point now where there's a lot of little things that we need to do. They're a bit boring, they're hard to sort of do one video on. I'm sort of grouping them together, but this is project cars, just tiny little things here, there and everywhere that need to get done. I'm just going to try and blast through as much of this stuff as I can in the next few episodes. Hopefully I can get the heater working next. I want to fit a few more wiring things just so it's at a point where we can start it. If I can get the steering rack fixed, that'll be perfect. Might do an episode on that. If it works, if it doesn't, well then I'll be doing an episode of taking it all out and fitting the old stock steering back in. So yeah, that's it guys. Hope you're enjoying the shit that I'm putting together, and I'll see you on the next one.